Hey, Kingdom Millionaires, welcome back to part 2 of What is Scarcity. In part 1, I highlighted one of the definitions. In part 2, I will be highlighting 3 more. So what is scarcity? Scarcity is a very small supply of something, a deficient supply in quantity compared with the demand, and something that is not plentiful or abundant. In the most simplest form, it simply means not enough, shortage, lacking, not fruitful. When something is not being brought forth, there is no production happening. Therefore, it's not fruitful. Therefore, it will be lacking in some capacity, coming up short in some capacity, or not enough in some capacity. When we look into the world today and what's happening, we see these shortages of supply and products compared to the demand or the need of the population. Let's specifically take the baby formula and what's going on with that at the moment. There's a shortage in the supply of baby formula compared to the population and the demand that's needed thereof. Simply meaning that there's either no production or that we're not able to receive what's already been produced of it. For instance, if it has to come from a different country or it has to come from some place that we're not able to receive, or the place that we previously were receiving it from, they aren't able to produce it. And so we have to go somewhere else to receive it, right? And so think about that in our lives, in our finances. A lot of times we're constantly creating, producing, or experiencing is probably a better word. We're constantly experiencing generation to generation shortages in our finances, in our financial results. We're constantly experiencing not enough. We're constantly experiencing lack. We're never able, a lot of times, to get over that hump and get into a place of abundance when it comes to our financial results. And I want you to understand that nothing has gone wrong, and it means nothing about yourself. It does not mean that you're not enough. It does not mean that God does not want this for your life or for yourself. It simply means that we have not taken responsibility to utilize the authority that God has given us. In Genesis 1:28, it says, God gave us the authority to be fruitful, to produce or to bring forth the necessary provisions and resources we need on earth. So in order to live, in order to maintain life, right? In order to support our lives, there are certain things that we need. In order for others to be supported, there are things that they need. And what God did when he created man in the image of himself, right? He also what came with that was the authority to operate as he operates. And that whole first chapter of Genesis shows us how he operated. He used his creativity, he used his words to be fruitful, to produce, to bring forth provisions and resources on the earth so that we were able to live, to support ourselves, so that animals and everything else that he created was able to produce, right? And to support themselves. And so as a believer, we have to take responsibility and actually step into that authority. And when we're not doing that, we're not able to produce the good things, the promises of the word, in order to shift or change our situation. And having this authority, what it does is it gives us the ability to enforce the laws of the word or the truth of the word. And so we know that the word explains over and over to us that we are abundant beings. And so he has given us everything we need within to operate, create, and produce on the outside all that we need. And so when we're not taking responsibility and we're not stepping into that place of authority, we come up short because we're not producing, we're not operating the way that God intended for us to operate. Be blessed.